Many people wish to move on from last year and look at what 2021 may bring them. But what will the new normal look like? How has the pandemic changed things? And how should investors look at the markets? Welcome to another episode of Money Matters. Markets are forward-looking. Think about it. Why would the stock price of a company value it at more than its total assets less its liabilities? The market is exploring the potential of this company in terms of its opportunities, the threats, and ultimately exploring the earnings potential of that particular company. If we take a look at an example, for example, the video rental company Blockbuster from many years ago. It was the dominant video rental company for many years to come, and it had outlets absolutely everywhere. It was the go-to place for video rental. Fast forward a few more years, DVDs replaced the video cassette as the medium of choice for videos. And disruptors to the industry then looked at mail order to replace companies such as Blockbuster. This not only made it convenient for the consumer to just simply order from online and then receive the DVD through the post, it also massively reduced costs for the company itself. Again, fast forward again, and videos became digitalized. They went online. And the consumer no longer had to have any physical medium to use to watch videos. They simply streamed it from online to access their video of choice. And again, new companies, new disruptors came on board into this space. So this is one example of how companies need to adapt, evolve, and also how new entrants to the industry may take over from the business. So with that in mind, let's look ahead to the year 2021 and beyond and look at what the new normal will look like. Do you think the pandemic has changed the way we live, or do you think we will ultimately revert to what life was like back in 2019? Will the airline industry ever recover again, or has Zoom calls replaced a lot of the business trips that were almost the default before this pandemic? What will work from home look like in 2021? Is this the new normal? Will companies start using work-at-home programs to allow flexi-work? And if people are starting to work from home more often, what will the traditional office space look like? Will companies downsize the office space and start using hot desking solutions for their staff? Will electric vehicles replace the internal combustion engine? And how can we prepare the infrastructure to power a world full of only EVs? What does this mean for power production? And how can we commit to green energy production as climate change is becoming a bigger issue? As the world's oceans and rivers are filling with plastic, how can we ensure a smooth transition into making plastic obsolete from everyday use? This is the fascinating thing about investments, as they are intrinsically linked with our everyday lives. The world's population is continuing to rise despite the populations in some developed nations seeing a fall. The demand for goods and services will continue to rise. You can see my video about why markets always eventually rise by clicking on the link above. A growing population also needs power, and whilst green energy production has always been cost prohibitive for many decades, we may just be coming over this crest as cost is no longer a barrier. What does this mean for oil-producing companies, and how long will they last? Will they be able to adapt to this new world, and what time frame are we talking about here? Because jumping too early may not yield substantial yields for years to come, and the average investor may not have the patience for a long-term strategy. The same could be said for the traditional banking industry. Fintech disruptors stand to make huge potential gains via the digital revolution. However, you shouldn't ignore the traditional big banks. The traditional banks' balance sheets look healthy, loss loan provisions are considerable, Stress tests demonstrate that they're in a much better position than they were pre-global financial crisis, and return on equity is expected to pick up over the next several years. Disruptors are good for the industry and will accelerate the industry forward to one that is digitalized and more relevant to the modern consumer. One of the greatest revolutions of the 21st century thus far has to be the smartphone. It has revolutionized the way we live our lives, including the way we access our information, the way we communicate, the way we spend our money, and the way we work. We literally live our lives through our smartphones. Today, we spend on average 4 hours per day on our smartphones. That's 23.5% of our waking day, assuming we sleep for 7 hours. The fourth industrial revolution is about the digitalization of everything and will only increase our dependency on electronic devices. The iPad brand has been synonymous with the tablet. Who even says tablet anymore? And replaces the personal computer as the go-to electronic device to access our digital lives. Its adoption has been phenomenal, and even baby boomers who were once thought to be technophobes have embraced the digital revolution. My mother-in-law refused to go digital, choosing only to read her printed newspapers, until one day the publisher stopped printing them. I then bought her an iPad, and she's now reading all of her information via the iPad. She's also now a heavy consumer of dramas streamed via the iPad. Another industry ripe for a digital revolution is the healthcare industry. The onset of 5G is certainly accelerating this change. Whilst medical professionals will not be replaced in the immediate future, technology is aiding their workflow, and artificial intelligence is certainly playing a part in this role. We can already see technology provide solutions to basic ailments, and this will only further develop over time. Furthermore, healthcare has always seen high demand and will never go out of fashion. As such, the healthcare sector has always been a very dependable sector for investors. Since we talked about 5G and artificial intelligence, I think technology as a whole will continue to be a major part of our everyday lives. It's not just this pandemic that has accelerated the value of technology and its usefulness in the way we live our lives, because even without it, it will continue to penetrate every aspect of our daily lives. Cloud computing, the smart home, digital wallets, social media, digital profiles, essentially the interconnectivity of every aspect of our daily lives. I think this will be the future. I must leave it there before this video goes on for too long. There are so many other sectors to explore and so little time to explore it. Remember that for successful investing, the due diligence never stops. You must keep your finger on the pulse, have one eye looking ahead towards the future with the other eye firmly on the present. It is important to filter out the right information from the onslaught of financial news that bombards us on a daily basis. Invest in your own education, look towards the future, commit to your decisions, remain steadfast, and your portfolio will reflect all the hard work you've put in. Or, if you're too lazy to do all of this, reach out to one of our team members and they will help you on your investment journey. I wish you a safe and prosperous 2021 and to enjoy the many returns during this recovery. Let's keep moving forwards at all times and look forward to what the future may bring. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Leave a comment below, smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode of Money Magic.